It's a go. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Anyway, that's some terrible singing. You don't even have to tell me if you even can call that singing. I hope that you guys have had a great day and happy first day of spring. It's the first day of spring, and I could not tell this morning because it was like 20, 30 degrees, and it was really, really cold, and it gave me no reminders of spring until this evening. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed your first day of spring, that it was a nice day out, and that you have settled in for tonight. I am coming on because, of course, I have something that I want to share with you. I'm going to pop on. I'm not going to be long, but I want to talk to you about, I want to talk to the people who are looking for a good job. Hello, Vanessa Mason. How are you? So, at any rate, this came to me earlier today, and I had some people saying to me that they were looking for a good job, and it just made me start to think, well, what is a good job? Everybody has their own interpretation of what that is, and so I wanted to talk about that a little bit with you tonight. So I'm going to jump right into it because it's late and I know you have to go to bed because you have to go to work in the morning, and so do I. So at any rate, good. Thank you for popping on. I hope you enjoyed your first day of spring. I couldn't tell it was spring here in Atlanta. It was freezing this morning. So anyway, I am, as you come in and say hello, I'll say hello back to you. But I'm Vashana Weatherspoon, career strategist and excellence accelerator, helping women who feel frustrated in their careers to emerge from stuck and surge to their next level of success. I am also the host of the Know Your Worth Career podcast, which is centered around helping women to maneuver some of the sticky situations that they find themselves in the workplace. And we bring on special guests who talk about different strategies and topics to my live video. Stop. What kind of fraganaco bull is that? So at any rate, and help women to figure out how to maneuver some of the situations that we often find ourselves in the workplace in a way that is effective to help us to get what we want and need from our careers. So, I'm just slightly distracted. Give me a second. My video stopped recording for some strange reason. Okay, I think we're getting it back up now. Okay. Here we go again. And so at any rate, and so that's what the podcast is all about. But what I'm here to talk to you tonight about is if you're looking for a good job and what that really means. That's what I want to talk to you about. So if you know somebody who's looking for a good job, like and share this video, tag them in this video as a matter of fact, and bring them on so they can hear this information. It's going to be pretty quick, but it's relevant nevertheless. So let's jump right to it. So what is a good job? That's the first thing you need to consider. I mean, I know it's something that we kind of toss around lightly, talking about, having a good job or wanting a good job, but good job is relative. So what does good job mean? Does it mean that you want a job that pays you well? Does it mean that you want a job that gives you flexibility to take care of your personal life and to be able to work? Does it mean you want to work at home full time? Does it mean that you have certain conditions that exist within the job and that's what makes it good? Is it the benefit package? Like, what makes a job a good job for you? And so that's the first thing that you need to figure out, because saying that you want to get a good job is very vague. which means that you're not going to do anything because you don't have a clear vision for what it is that you're moving toward. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about, is how to back away from that whole idea of a good job and to bring it down to something a bit more specific so that you have an actual goal that you can work toward. So, as I was saying, good for one person is not good necessarily for another person. And so it's very important to figure out what good job means to you. That's the first step, first and most important step. And what are your preferences? What are your priorities? What's important to you in a job? Those are things that you need to consider. Those are things that you need to have the answer to help you to be able to move forward. There are 6 factors that I'm going to run through really quickly that I want you to think about in terms of trying to pinpoint what an ideal job, I'm going to call it an ideal job, what your ideal job should look like, what kind of things would be happening there, because that's important for you to figure out an actual career goal, to go from that vague to narrowing it down to something very concrete. So there's 6 factors, 6 demands, if you will, 6 conditions that you want to consider when you're thinking about how to find that good job. And the first thing is the mental factors involved in the job. So mental factors it's really just all about your ability to focus, to be alert, to be present in the moment. Some jobs require a great amount of focus and attention to detail, and some not so much. So you want to know if you're one of those people who likes to be really engrossed in what you're doing, really in the moment, or if you're one of those people who, would prefer to be, do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and have a wide variety of tasks that you perform in, as you conduct your job. So those are things that are important to those are things that are important to, thank you Jacob for sharing the video. Those are things that are important to consider and to know. And the other thing is emotions. So are you a person that can handle a lot of stress? Some jobs are very stressful. They're high stress jobs, and then you have other jobs that are not so much. They're much more easygoing. So what is your preference? Are you one of those people who enjoys that stress, that, constantly having to meet deadlines? Some people work very well under those conditions, and some not so much. So figure out where you fall on that spectrum. Are you, the one who likes the stress, who gets a rush and a thrill from it? Or are you one of those who would really, continue in a spiral to the hospital or something worse? So that's important to know. The next thing is, physical demands. Are you a person who likes to, be mobile, who likes to be physically doing a task, who likes to be handling things and objects and that kind of stuff? Or are you a person who likes to exert some physical effort in order to complete a task? If you are, then there are certain jobs that entail that, and then of course there are those that are more sedentary, where you are primarily sitting and typing and talking to people and that kind of thing. But that's important to know, because it's going to affect how much you enjoy your job and the work that you do. The next one is environmental, and this is just about the setting that you work in, the conditions. Do you like working at a desk under air conditioning? Do you like working outside in the heat in the summer and in the cold in the winter? What is your preference for the physical environment that you work in? The next thing is social. And social is about your relating to or working with other people. It's the culture of the company or the organization that you're working for. So what is it that you like or dislike in terms of the social aspect? Do you like working in teams and with a group of people, or would you prefer to work solo and just go to your little corner and do what it is that you have been hired to do, and at the end of the day you go home? All of that stuff matters. It really does matter. And then the last thing is spiritual. So are you a person who wants to have work where you feel like you are making a difference, that you have to have a sense of purpose? You have to feel like you're making a contribution to something bigger and greater than yourself. If you are one of those individuals, then that's a spiritual demand. And so you need to have, and the spiritual aspect is what is actually pushing you to desire that fulfillment, that purpose, that meaning, all of those, great things that we desire in our work. And so there are certain jobs that are just, that is kind of built into it, especially when you're helping people with their personal issues and, and people get fulfillment in a sense of passion and, all this kind of excitement that's geared around the spiritual aspects from different things. So let's also, make note of that. But it's important that you consider all of those things. So those 6 things that I just shared with you, which was mental, emotional, physical, environmental, social, and spiritual. Consider all of those areas to see, where you fall on the spectrum, whether you have to have it, you don't have to have it, you like it, you don't like it, and use that information to help you to figure out what that good job can look like for you. And the other thing you want to do is to know what your strengths are. And there are assessments that you can take where you can actually, go in and answer some questions, and it'll give you your top 5, your top 30 strengths that you possess. And I encourage people to work in their strengths. Hey, drama bringer, how are you today? So I encourage people to work in their strengths, to find work where, find something that they're really good at and excel in the things that you do well. So find out what your strengths are if you don't know what they are, and utilize that as you figure out what that good job looks like for you. And then the other thing is you want to look at I call it your employability inventory. You want to look at your experience, your skills, your education, your talents, just things that you're just naturally good at that you could turn into a strength. And consider all of those things as you figure out what that career objective looks like for you. And there's different resources that you can utilize to figure out what jobs entail all of these things that I just got through talking about. One of them is ONET, and you can put in O''net.com on the internet, and you can go there and look up different jobs and the different requirements for the jobs, and really get some good information to help to inform your decision. So you want to know, after you've done all of these things, and you figured out what the good job is that you're going to be pursuing, then what you want to do is figure out what do you already have, and that's the inventory that we just talked about, and the strengths and all of that stuff. And then what do you need to get to that position? What do you need to get that good job that you're desiring? And see where the gap is. Where is the disconnect? If you have everything, then hey, you're well on your way. You just need to start applying and doing all of the stuff that it takes. But if you're not, and you're lacking some things, then this is your opportunity to figure out what those things are and start creating a plan to work toward getting those, so that you can actually have that good job that you want. And it becomes, at that point, now no longer this big thing out there that's just vague and just a good job, but you actually have a specific focus that you're working toward. So I hope that you have found these tips to be useful, and not that you have just found them to be useful, that you actually go back, listen to this video again, write them down if you didn't before, and go through the steps of figuring out where you fall on the spectrum for all of these different things that I just talked about. Now, before I end, I want to share with you an opportunity to get your very own Your Next Level Career Action Planner, which will help you to do just what I just talked about. It'll help you to figure out, to kind of narrow down some of these things that we were talking about and have a place to capture them, to be able to, help you to figure out what the gaps are and how you fill those gaps. So when you figure out where you want to go and what you need to get there, then that's where you need the planning. That's where the planning comes in, because you need to create a plan. You need to create a plan that says you need maybe you need to go and get a certification. Maybe you need to go back and get some kind of training. Maybe it's just a matter of volunteering to get certain experience, but whatever it is, you need to get very laser focused about working toward that thing and doing it in a very consistent and strategic manner. And that's what the Your Next Level Career Action Planner helps you to do, to get focused, to get strategic, to become consistent in working toward your goals that you've set for yourself. So if this sounds like something that could, and to keep you accountable. So it's not only helping you to get focused and working and all of those things, but there's a checkpoint where you go back and see, have I done the things that I'm supposed to be doing? If I have I made any progress? And be able to monitor yourself as you move month to month on your way toward reaching your career objective. So if you are interested in more information or getting yourself a copy, which I suggest that you do, you can find it at bit.ly/Your Next Level CAP, like the cap you put on your head, which is for Career Action Planner. And there's a link at least in Facebook, where you can find it. And so that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you have enjoyed this video, that you have a wonderful night, and I will see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to like and share this video. Bye-bye.